Perry Pencil.
Hello everybody, this is Perry Pencil, and with just a few days away, we're going to be looking at Domino. I'm super excited about this movie coming out Friday, so let's go ahead and let's explore Domino. She looks really cool. I remember her from the comic books back in the day, and I'm glad to see her on the big screen. So why don't we go ahead on, jump in, follow along, and we're going to work on Domino. Alright, as always, I usually divide my page in half. This is a standard that I go by so that I'll know where the figure is on the page, both right and left. You want to come down a little bit, about a full inch. Put an oval in for her head. The pose that I'm going for is her face is going to be 3/4. Underneath her chin, you want to put an oval shape on a slant. Let's go ahead on and measure her head to the chest. You want to mark that off. And measure again, index and thumb. Let's rotate to the right. Mark her shoulders off. Move over to the left and do the same thing. Go ahead on, and I usually like to put my trusty coat hanger in for the behind the neck and the front of her chest here. And then put an oval shape in for her torso. And this is going to be a waist high drawing, which means her waist and hips are going to go off the bottom of the page. And everyone, remember to sketch light. For the sake of this video, I'm pressing just a little harder so that you can see it clearer. I have been responding to the comments in which the pencils are a little light, so I have a darker pencil. And notice that I'm still lightly putting it in, just enough you can see it, and just enough so that you know, I can go back in and when I need to and clean it up. I'm going to put 2 circles in, of course, for her shoulders. Come across because she is going to be holding a semi-automatic weapon with a knife that comes out of her, like a blade. And we'll work on that, and this is how we'll learn how to deal with figures that are holding guns, things like that, especially for those who plan on being comic book illustrators. This is for you. So you want to tilt her hand back. Notice I dropped the circle in where the meat of the palm is, where the thumb poses. And then out of that, you see me dropping that index finger in. Then you have the middle finger. Then I'm dropping in the ring finger. And then finally the pinky. Have a line that goes straight across for the handle of the semi-automatic Uzi, and a rectangular shape that extends from just past her wrist up to the side of her head. And then for the shape of the scope, you just want to repeat the same shape but smaller on top of the machine gun, and then of course the nozzle of the machine gun. And remember, I'll always interject if I'm moving too fast. I did slow it down a bit just for the sake of those that we're having trouble when I time lapse at times on certain videos. So I slowed down a bit. Now I'm going to zoom in here on her face, and just as I said before, this is a 3/4 view. So with a 3/4 view, I'm going ahead and start to outline the outside of her face on the right. At this point, you can follow every stroke that I'm doing. This is a tutorial that is a step-by-step, so I encourage you to do that. And this is only for practicing purposes only, so don't feel bad if you're not able to match it exactly. When I do it, I'm not able to match things exactly the way I should, so I don't feel bad, and neither should you. Now notice I started roughing her hair in very quick. Her hair is abstract, so it's a huge, kind of like an afro hairstyle, very free-flowing natural hairstyle. So feel free to be free with your pencils. Now we're going to jump on over to our eyebrows here, and she has a relaxed, kind of raised eyebrows. And we're going to take the right side of the bridge of her nose and come over to her cheek. And notice I did a small circle there just to know where I want to put her left nostril. Jump over and do the right nostril. Now I'll take my eraser and just clean that right nostril up a little bit. It bleeds past the right underneath the nose there, so I'm going to make it even. Now with her eyes, I'm going to go ahead on and put an oval in for her eyes. And mind you, because she's a female, her eyelash is going to be thicker. And so you want to make sure her eyelashes are thick, because that is a feature of a female. And notice all I'm doing with my pencil is going back over it and darkening it in as much as possible. Now her eye closest to you, which is her left eye, seems to be like an orange color or a light tan. And her left eye, or excuse me, rather, let's reverse that, her left eye versus her right eye. Her right eye seems to be a different color, is a solid dark brown color. And her left eye is actually that orange or tan color that I was talking about. I'm going to go ahead on and focus on her lips or her mouth. Just put a line across there, and notice I'm going to drop in very simple oval shapes, 3 of them for the top and 2 ovals for the bottom. That way I know positionally where I want her lips to go in. And notice how I just go right in between there and drop the center line of the line between the top and bottom lip. Bring that chin around. Just clean up just a little bit so it's clearer for you, and you can see what's going on, and not have 100 different lines that's obscuring you from what it's supposed to look like. Let's go ahead on and sketching her neck in here. Now I'm going ahead with my HB pencil. We're going to lightly rough in her hair. And because her hair is so wild, if you notice, I'm using the side of my pencil. Because when you use the point digs into the paper and makes it permanent. So with the side of the pencil, you can softly put it in, and it's not as, it's a little bit more forgiving. And do the same thing and have her hair come around. It does cover her ears. You don't even see ears or earrings. It's just her hair is just wild, and she has a lot of it. So make sure you concentrate on the volume of her hair. Notice I'm coming way out past her face and just kind of wildly putting in different shapes. I call this the abstract technique. It doesn't really matter. And at this point, if you notice, I've time-lapsed this because I'm shading her hair in here. And please forget that tape print that you see there above her hair. I will work on, do the best I can to get around that. Right now I'm putting in a signature mark that she has over her left eye using a mechanical pencil. Using a mechanical pencil allows you to have a little bit more detail, gives you a little bit of breathing room. If you have a pencil like a HB or something like that, it's a little blunt, it might make that line too dark. So that line also goes around the contour of her eye itself. And then that completes it. Now zoom out, and as I stated before, I'm trying to clean that line up a little bit. I'm gonna do the best I can, and just please forgive me on that. But the tape underneath it kind of pressed through to the other side of my penciling. So now at this point, what I'm going to do is jump on in and put a contour of her body in. If you notice, I'm going directly for the contour, so I'm working around the shapes that I put in the very beginning of the tutorial, which would be the circle and the cylinder shape for her upper arm, bicep, tricep, and then her forearm. And immediately jumping over to her torso, I'm putting in her waist. Because she's feminine and a woman, those shapes are very soft. She's not like She-Hulk, so she doesn't have a wingspan or stuff like that. In this particular drawing, I'm showing you, expressing you that you have a softer figure to draw, so there's not a lot to deal with here. Adding my detail again. Putting in a line that divides the bicep and tricep in between the forearm. Now we'll jump on to her right side, and she's not particularly very busty. What she's wearing actually confines or restricts that, so you can go ahead on and put the other contour of the right side of her in. And now we're dealing with her right arm and closing that shoulder part out. And approaching the contour aspect is because when we go back and put detail in, we want to just jump right in and put on what she's wearing, so dressing her up. And notice I'm using the same line weight. Line weight is important here. If you notice the contour of her entire body, I kept very, very similar. I didn't vary the line weight up or anything like that, because then that way when I go back and ink it later, I can just go ahead on and do that and then use a lighter tone to go in between. So now I'm just jump in here and just kind of clean up the lines that I don't want. Now I'm again sketching in what she's wearing. So we're going to go ahead on and put the shoulders in. Have a line come across her upper chest and come down on her left side. So at this point we could begin adding a little bit of detail. Putting a little strap within a strap. And then she has these cords that comes down from that and kind of overlap the chest area. And it repeats itself on her right side. I'm going to move that over a little bit. Notice I'm comparing the left to the right, so I immediately recognized that that overlap was incorrect, so I went in and corrected it. Because the strap that's overlapping it goes to the right, and then the strap underneath it goes to the left side of the body. So we want to be consistent. And those lines come underneath that line that goes horizontally across her, they come under that, and then there's another horizontal line that goes across again, and then she has a piece in the center that comes down. And again, don't hesitate to pause if you need to. No need to feel bad. This is not a race. This is just a tutorial in which you can learn step by step on how to put certain details on the character that you're drawing. Right now I'm putting in the belt buckles, not anything spectacular. And she has these straps that are like holsters for her hips, so she has guns on those as well. But this goes off the page, so I encourage you to kind of follow what I'm doing step by step and have the gun be as simplistic as possible. You're not going to see a lot of it, but you may just see the handle, and that's pretty much it. All right. Shapes they're drawn in for the gun itself. Notice that all I'm doing now is going back over it, the outline that's already put there in the beginning. And I'm dealing with the handle. The handle has a grip on it, so with the grip you can just draw diagonal lines here. And for the clip, or the magazine as they call it, that goes into the bottom of the gun, is just a simple rectangular shape. And a bigger rectangular shape for the body of the gun itself. One thing I do like about drawing Uzis, they are very simple in shape. Like there's not any crazy angles and too many shapes that you can't recognize or that you would have a problem with doing yourself. So these two lines that I put in here are very, very small shapes, or flat shapes rather, that you could put in. And on top there's a scope, and that scope particularly is another rectangular shape. You've guessed it, same shape. And then there's a scope on top of that that she looks through. Same thing for the nozzle of the front of the gun. And notice I'm just simply going over the outline of her hair and darkening in a bit. And she is wearing a string necklace of some kind. Doesn't have any kind of medallion hanging from it. It's just a string tied around her neck. Now, I'm working on the blade, or the knife that's attached to the Uzi. And the handle has a little bit of a curve at the bottom of it, and it goes up, and it's just a simple pointed knife. I guess it's the type of weapon she runs out of bullets, then she can go for the next best thing. And then putting the other arm in, the sleeve that she's wearing, just like we have it on the left arm. And then on the elbow, she has some kind of shoulder or elbow pad. I don't know if it's actually protective or it's just a part of the sleeve on the right arm. And added some wrinkles here just to give it effect for her wearing material. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like Domino? I know I was requested to draw Domino, and I apologize for not remembering the name. Let me know who you were, and I'll give you a shout out and or respond in the comments, and thank you personally for suggesting Domino be drawn. In the comment section, let me know if Domino is the one that I should have drawn, if there's someone else that you would have liked to have seen me draw in the tutorial in the upcoming Deadpool 2 movie. Until next time, take care. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe by pressing this round button at the bottom. Also, click on one of the 2 top videos at the top. Please like this video, tell a friend, and share it on Facebook. Thank you. Perry Pencil.